Alright, I want to talk about a couple of things while we continue building our little world here. So, first off, uh, the boys, right? Um, I'm planning to review The Boys Season 5 pretty soon, and let me just say, overhated. Overhated to the highest degree. However, I do have an opinion on one of the episodes that a lot of people disagree with. It just seems that I can't have an opinion that a lot of people like. So, yeah, anyway. What were we building today? Well, today we're just going to be building probably just a little bit more of this park, because why not? Issue is that we're literally on top of a mountain, so we're gonna have to like maybe build a bridge. It'll essentially be like a cityscape similar. Like there's gonna be a city over here. It's gonna be similar to like how Japan has not maybe not Japan, but like some like European countries have it where it's like, oh, they have a bridge all the way to another side. But yeah, anyway, back to what I was saying. So first off, yeah, I will be reviewing um that pretty soon. Do not worry. I watched all of it and I enjoyed most of it. Again, just a couple of things that I would have preferred that they done a bit better, but yeah. Second thing I want to talk about, a influencer thinking that he can talk to Culvers any way he wants. Now, unfortunately, I don't talk about Culver's enough to get sponsored, but Culver's is like my favorite fast food burger place because they make their burgers authentic. Like every time I go there, a patty is different. This is not an ad, by the way. I can promise you that. I probably would get sued if it was. I think that's how that works. But this big I I I can't really talk on his weight because I am also not as big as him. Oh God, no. I would not let myself get this bad. But I also think that he's that big because of a Nikocado avocado situation where his entire identity is his weight. So yeah. Anyway, as I was saying, he goes in there thinking that he is the shit, and he starts talking to the workers like, "Hey, do you know who I am? I shouldn't have to pay this much because I'm an influencer." So basically, he's on his James Charles stuff, which we're also going to be talking about that in this video. Um, yeah, just it's insane, bro. It's crazy that he thinks that he could talk to anyone like that. And then when they said that they'll give him a discount, first off, again, just showing how good Culver's is. Uh, they just they didn't have to give him what he wanted. I mean, he wanted the stuff for free, which, like, bro, there's no way you're gonna get this stuff for free. But they just said, hey, you know what? Whatever. Here, have the stuff for free. Even though you don't need any more free food. Sorry. Um, and yeah, so that just shows how good Culver's is and how not hospitalized, but how good they are at how good Culver's is at being friendly, because I know anybody else would be like, you need to get out. And that's honestly what Culvers should have done. But Culvers is the GOAT. I will, if we had the money, I would probably eat Culvers every day and get as big as this guy. But to think that you're the to think that you're owed anything just because you eat Culvers, absolutely insane, bro. Guys, I eat food for a living. Yeah, so does everybody else. So does like 99% of the population. You're not unique, bro. You're not unique, I can promise you, but whatever. People will just be. Influencers will be insufferable. What does he even influence? Realistically. Like, give me an actual. Not estimate, that's not the right word, but. Give me an actual, like, thing that he influences, because he calls himself an influencer. What, do you influence fucking Ozempic? Like, I'm sorry, that was too far, but like, what does he influence? Like, he calls himself an influencer. What do you influence, my guy? There's not much we can really influence here. Us big people, we have not much to influence, right? Without seeming hypocritical. Like, oh, weight loss pills. Like, we ain't gonna do that. Like, huh? I don't know, man. But that's crazy, bro. And it's worse that it's a Culver's, because I love Culver's, bro. And honestly, if I was one of the people in line, I would punch this guy. No joke, no joke. I would actually knock this guy out, because you ain't about to keep me from getting a Butterburger, my guy. You're not about to keep me from getting a Butterburger. If you come between me and my Butterburger, oh, it's gloves off, my guy. But yeah, it's crazy, bro. It's crazy that the most wholesome burger place is getting in hot water because of this big chud. Alright, next I want to talk about, oh, the gooseworks situation. Yeah. Crazy, I know, right? It's not like they get into situations all the time, but this time, I know, again, surprise, the fans are going crazy. So I saw a Twitter post earlier this morning talking about how rude gooseworks was for saying, who cares about the leaks, because like people are, because you know, because theaters are coming out, or in theaters, the new episode of The Amazing Digital Circus is coming out in theaters, right? And everybody made it about themselves. Everybody is like, but what about me? Me. And it's like, you're not even the slightest happy for them. No, because me. And it's like, okay. Like, bro, I'm going to be avoiding anything digital circus related like the plague. If I can do that, you guys can too. Trust me. But after she said, who cares about the spoilers, everybody was going at her throat. Everybody was like, oh, how could you say that? Like, and I'm just gonna say this right now, I get it. You don't like that response. But let me remind you that you guys treat her like shit. You guys are the most spoiled fan base ever. More than Five Nights at Freddy's. And that is saying something. Okay, maybe not as much as Five Nights at Freddy's, but it's definitely up there. Because they could have quit, man, and I would not blame them. They could have quit this series the moment you guys showed any signs of being toxic. But she didn't. And you want to know why? Because she is passionate about her work. And it's just so insane how parasocial these troglodytes have become, man. It is just so sad that we have gone this far as a society to where this type of reaction is okay from people. Like, she's legit saying who cares about the leaks, probably because she's done, man. I mean, I would assume, what I've always assumed about gooseworks is that after the Amazing Digital Circus, she ain't doing anything else. Because she realizes that the world is full of cesspools, especially for indie devs. Like, instead of being happy for her, people tear her down, which is so sad, bro. I wouldn't blame her, man. If she just decides to go... If she just decides to quit. Hell, I probably would too, man. Because, like... Ugh. It's just, it's sad. It's sad, man. I really hope for the best for gooseworks. And then also, the movie got leaked. So people couldn't even fucking wait. They couldn't even wait. They had to leak shit because they were like, oh my god. Like, bro, really? You leaked it because you couldn't see it you couldn't wait a couple of weeks. Okay. May, June. So we're literally about to get the movie in a couple of days. Like, it's just, Twitter is so fucking annoying with this type of stuff, man. And then lastly, what we're going to be talking about is a grandma getting swatted. Yeah. And it's not just some random grandma. No. It's a grandma who is doing social media to save her grandson, to pay for her grandson's medical bills. And these fucking losers swatted this poor old lady. I hope the worst for these people. Genuinely. How do you not only swat a poor old lady, you could have caused a fucking heart attack, you pieces of shit, but you also swat her when she's trying to pay for her grandson's medical bills. In what fucking world do you see that and it's like, this is like a prank, guys? They literally probably laugh like Beavis and Butthead, unironically. That's how I perceive troglodytes like this to laugh. That's how I suspect, like, incels to laugh. Exactly like Beavis and Butthead. No disrespect to Beavis and Butthead, by the way. That cartoon was fun back in the day. But, like, in what world do you find this? If you find this shit funny, if you genuinely find swatting a grandma funny, there's some stuff I want to say right now, but just fill in the blanks. Just fill in the blanks of what I'm having in mind. The same thing that should be done to pedophiles. That's what I think that needs to be done to these people. The same thing that happens to pedophiles in my ideology. Because, like, it's one thing to swat somebody that's already, like, douchey enough to swat an innocent person. But then to swat a poor old lady, that's another thing. And then to swat her when she's trying to pay her grandson's medical bill. Bro, if I was a grandson, if somebody did this to my grandma, You bet I would get your IP address. I would get this. I would get that, and I would find you. Piece of shit. Swatting an old lady who probably barely has enough, who probably barely fucking has time as it is. You waste her time swatting her when she's trying to pay for her son's medical bills. Grandson. Sorry, doesn't fucking matter. You're a piece of shit, and I hope the worst for these people. Genuinely. I'm sorry, bro, but what? What? Oh, like, why? Do you think this is cool? Do you feel better about yourself now that you swatted an old lady, potentially giving her a heart attack, and then also delaying her chance of saving her grandson? Huh? You feel better about yourself? Like, that hour of time that she probably had spent talking to the police, she could have made a couple $100 from that 1 hour, even more, of talking to the police. She barely has time left as it is. She's a grandma. She ain't some 20-year-old Hassan Piker. Man, she's not fucking Joe Bartolozzi in the prime of her life. She's a grandma. She barely has time as it is. She could have croaked in that 2 to 3 hour talk with the police. Like, people don't think about that shit. People don't really think about how vulnerable humans really are. Like that's the thing about this world, is that nobody cares. Nobody has human decency to think about their actions. Man. Like, even a 20-year-old could have had a heart attack from... Like, there's been cases where people have been swatted who are in the prime of their life and still have a heart attack. Like, they're in the best shape of their life and they have a heart attack because of how scary a situation is. Think about that with a grandma. That's a lot of stress on her heart. And then you swat a grandma for paying her son's medical bills. Shit like this makes me rethink doing social media. Man. I've been wanting to do social media all my life, ever since I discovered like Venturian Tale, Dan TDM. I've been wanting to do social media almost all my life. And never did I think that it would get to this level. Never did I think social media would get to a point where we're calling the police on people. People need to grow the fuck up. You know, I hope that person is in prison now and they learn their lesson real quick with Big Terry. Big Terry in the showers. Maybe you'll learn a thing or two when Big Terry comes in and is like, "What's up, delicious? Man, you looking mad sweet right now. Looking like old grandma candy in that one jar, you know? You're looking mad sweet right now. Bend over." What? No. Who are you talking to like that? Put on your real voice. I'm sorry, Big... If you get the reference... If you get the reference, I hope you guys get it, because I hope that happens to this guy. I normally don't wish this upon anyone, other than, obviously, PDF files. But for people like this, I found a new reason. I found a new thing. I found another reason to give somebody the death penalty. But anyway, that's all I want to talk about in this episode. I'm talking to the point where I'm tasting metal. So I'm going to leave this episode here. Um, but yeah. So probably in between episodes, I'll finish up this bridge. It's supposed to be kind of like the Great Wall of China in a way, but not like obviously not the Great Wall of China. But I don't know. I don't know how I would build this any better. But yeah, I'm basically just gonna build the foundation of these stairs. I don't know if I'm gonna do like archways, like like pillars, kind of like what a castle would do for bridges. But yeah, I'm also gonna be adding lights. So yeah, that's probably gonna happen in between episodes because um, I don't want to spend too much time with talking about situations just on this one bridge because this would probably take a couple of episodes to build up. So yeah, unless like a ton of stuff happens within the next couple of weeks, this would probably take me months. But yeah, make sure to like, share, subscribe, turn on notifications, and I will see you guys later.